Are you a grown adult who is still afraid to use bad language in front of your parents? Are you someone who still gets given out to if you do use bad language in front of your parents? I'll tell you why I'm talking about this. I put up a tweet yesterday evening, and let me set the scene that this tweet makes sense then. So I called over to my mother's yesterday, as I do most Thursdays, and I was in the house, and I'm a man in my 40s, okay? I haven't lived at home in donkey's years. It was in the house with my mother, and I can't even remember what the conversation was, but I used the F word in front of her. And straight away, Jeremy, language. And I'm like, Ma, I am in my 40s. I'm a grown man. I'm a father myself. I don't need you at this stage of my life to be telling me not to use bad language. But it reminded me that I am still afraid. I watch my P's and Q's when I'm in front of my mother. I watch my language when my mother is around, because I know I'm going to get a bollocking. And my wife slags me over it. You can often see if we're at a family gathering and I use bad language, and my mother chastises me about it in public, it wrecks my head. And I look over at my wife, and she'll be like doing an eye roll, going, Jesus, you're still afraid of your mother. Anyway, I put this tweet up yesterday, and it basically said, I'm in my 40s, and my mother still gives out to me when I use bad language in front of her. Is there anybody else who's like this? And the response was amazing. We got hundreds and hundreds of messages back from people who said, yes, this is actually a thing. So I thought we would delve into it this morning on Opinions Matter and find out from you, if you are a grown adult. Well, I assume you all are, because you're listening to this show. And if you have a parent or parents who are still alive, what is your policy when it comes to bad language? Do your parents still give out to you for doing it? Are you afraid to do it in front of your parents? And what do they say when you do curse? It's something we can all relate to, and I want you to text me now with your opinions. There's the number on your screen: 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. What is the policy in your family when it comes to you, a grown adult? Now think about it, you're a grown adult. I mean, you have your own house, you have your own job, you're not under your parents' wings anymore. Why are we still afraid to use bad language in front of them? Is it an Irish thing? Is it an Irish mammy thing? So what does your mother, and I think it's a mother thing, let's not focus on fathers now, because I don't think fathers give a shit. Sorry, Mum, had to say the word. She's going to be on the phone now in a minute. Jeremy, using bad language on the show, making a show of the family, bringing the family up into disrepute. That's what she'd say. But I don't think fathers give a damn. I think it's generally mothers that this bothers. So text me now, 085 825 2626. Now, here's an interesting first caller. Never been on the show before. Adrian, you're very welcome to Opinion Matters.
Thank you very much. Good morning. How are we?
Good morning. Now, we were talking about this. You're obviously off this week doing other projects.
Just temporarily, yes. Yes. I'll be back on Monday.
Yes, you'll be back on Monday. And we were talking about this off air this morning, yourself, myself, and Katie. And you know the situation in my household, or not even in my household, in my family. You know how terrified I still am of my mother, and that if I do curse, she will reprimand me. What's the story with the Kennedy parents?
I subconsciously, and it's only subconsciously, I've never been told, I subconsciously mind my P's and Q's, especially in front of my mother. It's not that she's ever told me to, or she's ever given out to me, but I'm able to control it.
Now, your mother and my mother are very different. Your mother is a lot more laid back than my mother is. She's a lot older as well. That's probably the reason. But yeah, your mother is a lot more laid back, and she wouldn't take things to heart as much as my mother would. But
still, having said that, I still watch my language in front of my mother, not for no particular reason. And it's funny, like, you said a word there a couple of minutes ago that I find offensive, and I don't think it's appropriate that you should use it, and that was the word bollocking. I just don't think it's an appropriate word to use.
Did I say bollocking, did I?
Yeah, that you got a bollocking for it, and I just think that's a very inappropriate word to use. Anytime.
Yes, I did. I said
I think it's quite offensive.
Okay, let's deal with that for the moment. Just park that there for a moment. I said, I can remember now. I said, my mother gives me a bollocking when I use... Yeah. And you're saying the word bollocking itself is a bad word?
I think it is, yeah.
Because it derives from the word bollocks, I suppose. Is that
yeah,
right?
well, now you've added insult to injury now.
Sorry about that. Come on, you can't honestly say that bollocking is an offensive word.
There are people who think it is, and you have to respect those people.
So you have to respect someone who thinks the word bollocking. So if you use the word bollocking on the air, you'd expect to be chastised over it.
100%, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You'd expect to get a pat on the back and say, "Don't use that word."
No, not a pat on the back. No.
Oh, sorry, no, a kicking in the back. Don't ever use the word bollocking again. It's an offensive word.
Yeah. But anyway, the point about using bad language in front of your parents, it's all to do with respect, in my opinion. And like I said, my mother's never told me not to curse, but I don't subconsciously. I just don't do it. No more than I ever curse on the radio, and I have a fairly foul tongue.
Oh my God!
But I'm able to.
That's the thing. That most people listening and watching now know you as the Adrian Kennedy. That they listen to on the radio or on online and stuff like that. Yeah. And, you rarely use bad language. But in real life, as soon as the mic goes off, you curse like a trooper. And I mean, you use words. You use every expletive word.
I've invented new words.
You have invented new words. And it's amazing how you can just switch it. Well, I suppose I can as well. You can just switch it off straight away. Because you'd be afraid. I assume it's different when you're on air and the mic is. You're afraid of getting a bollocking if you use bad language, aren't you?
100%. Yeah,
that's the problem.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I think, out of respect, you shouldn't be using bad language in front of your mother.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I've never been given out to by my mother.
Yeah.
But it's probably because I don't do it, and it's out of respect. So you clearly have no respect for your mother.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Do you think it's right for my mother to give me a bollock? Sorry. I can't even think of another word for bollocking, so we're going to have to run with bollocking.
Give out to you.
No, I don't like that expression. Bollocking. I'm going to use bollocking, okay? Sue me. Do you think that my mother is right for giving me a bollocking? Like, I'm a man in my 40s. I have my own kids, I'm a parent myself. Do you think...
Okay, well, let me ask you then. Do you use bad language in front of your kids?
Oh, well, that's a different... You're not going to put me on the spot here because that's a different...
Well, I am putting you on the spot here.
Yes, I do. And this is one of the things... Yeah, I swore before I had kids, I was like, I will not be that parent that stands in Tesco's calling their kids little shites because they're rolling around the ground looking for a Kinder Bueno. And only a couple of weeks ago, one of my kids was rolling on the ground in Tesco's looking for a Kinder Bueno. And I said, get up, you little shite, to Luke. And now he wasn't actually rolling on the ground. That's been a bit dramatic. But yeah, I do use language in front of the kids. So
the point that I'm making is what goes around comes around. You will not like your kids cursing at you, so you shouldn't curse at them. But similarly, with your mother, you clearly don't have enough respect for her to watch your tongue in front of her.
Oh, God, I mean, how do you even... By the way, there's a lot of people. What drugs is Adrian on today? I don't think he's on any drugs. What drugs is Adrian on? How can he consider the word bollocking a bad word? What a little sensitive petal he is, says one person. Adrian's a sensitive little petal. Are you okay there, petal?
It's just one of those words. There are certain words that people find offensive, like the C word offends a lot of people. Bollocking, I just find a very offensive word.
Well, I wouldn't use the C word now at this time of year, Christmas. Like, it's way too early to be talking about Christmas. The time and the place for that. By the way, the other C word you're talking about, that's my favourite curse word, completely. Love the C word.
Yeah, because it just does it all, doesn't it?
It does.
Anyway, okay, would you, if you were having a row with your mother, say you're a stupid C?
Jesus, relax there. No, I wouldn't say that. Absolutely not. No. Because she's not, but I have used that word before. That word.
So tell me the exact sentence that your mother pulled you up over.
What can I say? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, okay. I'll use the word. Let
me put it this way: if you feel you can't say it now because you're broadcast.
No, I can. Okay, so I was in the house and I was having a cup of tea with her, and we were sitting down, and I got an email that. It just annoyed me. The email annoyed me. And I read the email and I went, oh, for fuck's sake. And straight away my mother, Jeremy, I didn't bring you up to speak like that. Oh, sorry, ma'am. And I immediately apologised. And then I thought to myself, Here, I'm a man in my 40s. I do not need to apologise for cursing in front of my mother.
Okay, well, I think you showed the height of disrespect saying that in front of your mother.
Well, she gave me a bollocking, so...
well, there you go, and you deserved it.
Oh, in fact, have a listen to this. Eddie has a tip for people who want to use the word bollocking, because apparently this is an offensive word. Have a listen to this.
Well, if you don't want to use the word bollocking, just use the word rollicking. People do, and that means exactly the same.
Yeah, my boss gave me a rollicking. No, what does that even mean?
Yeah, say the same, yeah, but it's better than bollocking.
I've worked with you for many years, and this is the first time that I realised that you found that word offensive, and it's just blown me away. Adrian, it's absolutely ridiculous. He has to be winding you up about the word bollocking. Sure, everybody uses that word.
No. Well, there you are. It's just different strokes for different folks.
Okay.
It's a word that's always bothered me. But back to the conversation about using language in front of your parents, I think it shows the height of disrespect if you use bad language. And like I said, my mother has never told me not to because I've never done it. I've never done it, so she never had to pull me up over it.
Okay, but do we really need to judge people is that where we're at? Judging people for using bad language in front of their parents. Is that really what you want to do? You want to judge people because they...
Do you respect your mother?
Yes, I do.
Well, then don't use bad language in front of her.
But do we need to judge these people?
I'm judging you for using bad language in front of your mother. I think you let yourself down. I think you showed total disrespect for her, especially with your mother, knowing what she's like about things like that.
Yeah, she is. She's like, well, who's your woman off the TV program that has airs and graces? What's her name?
Hyacinth Bouquet.
Yeah, my mother is like a modern day Hyacinth Bouquet. She just has airs and graces about her, which I don't know where she got from.
But you know that. You've always known that.
Yeah.
So you should respect that and stop using bad language.
Okay, thank you very much for that contribution and for putting me on the spot, Adrian. I will never use the word bollocking on the air again. And see you next Tuesday.
I'll see you next Monday.
No, see you next Tuesday.
Goodbye.
Well, see you next Monday and then see you next Tuesday, okay?
Okay, goodbye.
Bye. That is Adrian Kennedy, who just gave me a bollocking. No, can't say that. Just gave me a bollocking on the air for using the word bollocking. I honestly didn't think that was a bad word, but I suppose it comes from the word bollocks. So there you go. See, we're allowed to use these words now. Anyway, I want to hear from you. Send us a WhatsApp voice note. There's the number 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. You heard it from Adrian there himself. Adrian believes that it is disrespectful to use bad language in front of your parents. He says you shouldn't use bad language in front of your parents, and I would like to hear from you. Here is Connor.
Lads, I love this new setup, I have to say. Yous are well able to use your bad language now that yous are off the radio. All-rated. Brilliant. Really enjoying it.
Thanks very much, Connor. I know we have a lot more freedom to use bad language, but I don't agree with using bad language just for the sake of using bad language. A lot of people who do, podcasts and stuff like that, they just throw in F-bombs and B-bombs and C-bombs and all bombs just because, oh yeah, you know what I mean. Get over yourselves, lads. Using bad language, sometimes it does slip out and sometimes it is the only thing that you can do. But just using it gratuitously for the sake of it, it's not for me. Here is Sandra, who says children learn from their parents.
Morning, guys. How's it going? If we gave our mother back cheek, we get the handle of the sweepers across the back. But in today's society, you can't even spank your kids for doing anything wrong as punishment. Adrian is right in a way. You shouldn't be cursing in front of your kids either, because your kids are going to say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So yeah, children learn from their parents. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't mind the word bollocking. Happy Friday.
Sandra, nobody, bar Adrian Kennedy, has a problem with the word bollocking, okay? And I want you to know that if you're messaging the show, any of you can use the word bollocking in a voice note, because I don't have a problem with it. Sandra, that conversation with cursing in front of your kids is a conversation for another day, definitely. But it's something I am guilty of. Jason, you're on Opinions Matter. How are you? Oh, that's a very bad line. Are you there? No, we'll try and get him back, actually, if we can, please, Katie, because that's an awful, awful signal. He was about to say that he's a grown man. Clearly, he's a grown man, and he still won't curse in front of his parents, or if he does, trouble goes down. I want to hear from you. Send us a WhatsApp voice note, 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. Now, is that a better line?
Can you hear me?
Much better line. Now, you're a grown man.
I am.
You're a parent yourself. You're actually a grandparent as well, aren't you?
I am.
You're an independent man. Are you still afraid of your mother?
Oh, God, yeah.
Why?
Oh, God, yeah.
And what happens when you use bad language?
Oh, you get. Oh, she'll let you know. But see, you must remember, our house is attached to 2 houses belonging to 8 sisters of himself upstairs, if you know what I mean. We were brought up next door, like our gardens joined, so we couldn't have any bad language growing up.
And what would happen? What would happen if you did use bad language?
Oh, we living next door to the nuns. My nanny was very holy, and
oh, sorry, you lived next door to nuns, did you?
Yeah. They owned the 2 houses next door to my mum and dad's house.
Okay, and obviously, so bad language wasn't a thing when you were growing up, but you're a grown man now. I mean, you're in your 40s. Are you still afraid to do it in front of your mother?
I would respect I wouldn't do it in front of her, Jeremy. That's being honest with you.
Really? Or maybe I'm getting this completely wrong then, because
I wouldn't be big into cursing in any way. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be one of my traits. My kids, on the other hand, they're like sailors there. But, oh God, yeah, right down from the 5-year-old all the way up to the 20, bloody 8-year-old. And most of my girls.
And what happens?
Worse than boys.
What happens if you do curse in front of your mother as a grown man?
She'll tell you not to. She'll tell you to watch your language.
And what would you say to her? Would you not say to her?
Okay, sorry. No, he wouldn't.
Stop! You don't.
You stop, will you? My mother's a good crumbling woman. You know yourself. You have a good woman like that. You don't answer her back. You just get on with it. You bow your head.
Would you stop?
Oh yeah.
No. Hang on a second. What age are you?
Oh, I'm the same age as you. Just a lot more younger looking.
You're in your 40s, yeah?
I am.
And you will apologise if you use bad language in front of your mother.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, I've a lot of respect for you, man.
I have a lot of respect for my mum as well. But you're a grown man.
It's not to do with being grown up. Respect doesn't stop at an age.
That's like saying...
Respect is something that goes from cradle to grave, which if you have respect, you have respect.
That's like these people, and there's loads of them, these grown adults who won't even smoke in front of their parents, even though their parents know they smoke. I have a friend.
I'd go out the back to smoke with my mum and dad's. Well, that's just because nobody smokes in the house, but I'd go out the back and I wouldn't smoke. I wouldn't stand in front of my father smoking.
No, but I'm talking about grown adults. I'm talking about, I have a friend who's...
they hide it, that the parents don't even know. They're just weirdos.
I have a mate, Owen is his name, if you're watching. He's 36 years of age, and he smoked for the last 10 years, and he keeps that secret from his parents. He's 36.
I know. We've a couple friend like that. They won't in front of their kids. They run. They hide out the back. One will distract the kid while the other goes out to have a smoke out the back.
Okay, so the rule in your house is no cursing in front of your mother. Thanks very much for that, Jay. Let me go to Carmel. Carmel, you're on Opinions Matter. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm being honest. I'm being blown away by this. I had no idea until I put that tweet up yesterday. I had no idea how big of a deal this was, and it must be an Irish thing, mustn't it?
Yes, I would never, of course. I very seldom curse anyway unless I really get annoyed. There's no cursing in our house, and I would have never cursed in front of my parents. We meet for family gatherings with in-laws and everybody else, and nobody curses whatsoever.
But it's different when you're a kid as opposed to an adult. And I was giving you the example. I mean, with me being given out for cursing in front of my mother, has a parent any right to still chastise their son or daughter when they're grown adults?
Well, I'm in my 60s. I probably would if they cursed at me. I'd say, don't use that language in front of me. You can do what they like when they're with their mates.
Oh, so you will pull them up. You'll give them a bollocking if they do it in front of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be cursing like you're curse like a trooper to start with. No, no, I don't curse. Well, very, very seldom, as I say, unless I really get annoyed. But no, there's no cursing. It's just, but always in my house, and my husband's house would be the same. Nobody curse, and they still don't. And my friends, we go out with different friends, and nobody curses in front of anybody. And that's the other one.
So it's kind of an unwritten rule, no, it's not an unwritten rule. It's a rule in your house where nobody is allowed curse.
Oh God, yeah. Particularly children would have never cursed when you were even little, and I wouldn't dream of it. And I go curse in front of my grandchildren, or my own kids, and anybody I know It's the same.
Yeah, I get that, but that's kids. That's young kids. But I'm talking about Jay, who was just on the line there. Jay is a grandparent himself. He's in his late 40s, and he still won't use bad language in front of his mother because he doesn't want to disrespect her. I just don't.
Well, I wouldn't. Well, my parents are all dead now, but I would have never cursed in front of my mother.
Really?
And my kids wouldn't curse in front of me either.
Oh my God!
And they're all adults with their own children.
Oh, feck that.
And they don't curse in front of their kids either, because you don't want kids cursing like little troopers out on the road, because it's not fine.
I know my wife is constantly at me. She says, Jeremy, stop using those words in front of the kids.
Yeah, because the kids will just repeat what you say, and then you'll say, why are you cursing?
I know, but the kids are going to pick up bad language anyway. They pick it up from their friends, or they'll...
Yeah, they might pick it outside, but they won't bring it into the house unless you're cursing in the house, and then they will do the very same thing.
I'm very, very sorry, Carmel. I'm sorry, and I'll never do it again. Okay. Thanks very much. She's after giving me a bollock in there. Katie, you're a mother, aren't you?
I am.
Do you curse in front of your kids?
I try not to. It's hard sometimes, though.
Because you have...
I do not have the cleanest mouth.
Let me tell you about Katie's mouth. It is potty. It is gutter.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the C word in the right situation as well.
No, every situation.
Yeah, no, I don't have the cleanest tongue, but...
That's your own business.
I try not to curse in front of my kids though, but sometimes you can't.
Now, do you curse in front of your own mother? Your mother, I know your mother. Your mother is a lady.
I don't know where I came from.
I don't know. You got it off the streets because she is a lady and she's very prim and proper. What did she say when you use those words in front of her?
I didn't raise you to speak like that. You're better than this. Why are you letting yourself down? Yeah.
I'd like to hear from you. 085 825 2626. Send us a WhatsApp now. 085 825 2626. What is the rule in your house about using bad language in front of your parents? In your parents' house, I mean. What are the rules on using bad language? Is it acceptable or is it not acceptable? Lauren, how are you?
Hey, yeah.
How are things? Now,
good.
You're a mother, obviously. Are your parents still alive?
They are indeed, yeah.
And well, first of all, what is the rule with you cursing in front of your kids?
Yeah, look, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. I do. When I get angry, I nearly every second word out my mouth. It's terrible because the kids give out to me and they say, you don't need to curse. And
you do, though.
I do. Like it's terrible. Like, their dad doesn't at all. He doesn't curse in front of them, and he doesn't curse in front of his parents. And he said he gets real. He feels real awkward when I'm with my mum and dad, and I curse because I curse in text and everything to my mum and dad. Like we talk every day, multiple times a day, and we're always cursing with each other. So but he would never. Like he gets really he leaves when when I'm with my mum and dad because he just can't handle it. But yeah, no, I do, and I have a 15-year-old son, and he's starting to now. I can hear him in his room, and when he's giving out to the computer and that, and he's cursing, and I give a yell up to him and tell him he's not allowed cursing. But I kind of can understand why he is, because he hears it from me.
So you do get you do get given out to when you use bad language in front of your parents, even though you're a parent yourself.
Yeah, not by my parents, but my kid's dad. Like he will say to me, like that's very disrespectful to.
Oh, sorry. So your own parents don't give out to you for doing it, do they?
No.
Oh, okay, that's
they
interesting.
Curse a lot too, and we cursing in text to each other to me and my mum do,
yeah.
They never said anything. They never had. I don't know when I even started. I think I started quite young, being able to just curse at home, but I wouldn't use it all the time. But I would be a bit like Kate. I'd have a kind of a sailor's mouth at times,
Well, I the other day, it's interesting you're talking about WhatsApps. We obviously, like most families, we have a WhatsApp group, and the other day we were having a joke about something, and I texted the G word into the group. And my mother wouldn't speak to me for about 2 days after it. She was like, that's the most disgusting. Now, I can't even remember the context in which I used the G word. It's a word I kind of like. Do you use the G word?
No, don't like that word.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, I'm not going to use it now. Yeah.
No, but most of my texts, they come out in ducking. It's never the other word. It's usually ducking, and I usually leave it like that because I couldn't be arsed with changing it. But
yeah. But
it's usually that word.
You definitely wouldn't use the G word then, would you?
No, I never really used that. No, never.
Well, yeah, I was nearly banned from the family WhatsApp. Stay there for a second, please, Lauren. I'd like to hear from you. 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. There's the number up there. What are the rules? What are the rules in your house or in your family when it comes to using bad language? Is it acceptable? Do your parents give out to you as a grown adult? Let's have a listen to this from Kev.
Morning, Jeremy. How you doing? It's Kev here. Yeah, my mother is one of those, like your own mother. God help you if she caught you cursing. But what's happened is, and I know it's not really funny, but since she's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, she's got the mouth of a sailor. Now, not all the time, but oh my God, there's no barriers. I've heard words that I never thought she knew come out of her mouth, and it's just funny. And yeah, it's just like, if this woman wouldn't. No, I'd be floored for using any bad language, but not anymore. Oh, the things that come out of her mouth you wouldn't believe. Anyway, it's an interesting topic, but yeah, I would have been like you. Don't keep the mouth shut.
Yeah, so you thanks, Kevin. You've no balls like I have. Now, I've just checked on my phone, and my mother is actually active on WhatsApp at the moment, so I'm going to send her a WhatsApp voice note like you can send me, 085 825 2626. So I'm going to send her a WhatsApp voice note and ask her a simple question. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Ma'am. It's your lovely son here. Just want to ask you, what do you think of me using bad language? Okay, there we go. I've just sent that to her. So let's see what the message back is. I don't know if she's listening or not, but you'll hear from the horse's mouth herself how she feels about this. Should be interesting what comes back. Here is Andrew.
There wouldn't be any cursing in my house. Never was, never will be, especially in front of the kids. No fupping away.
Thanks very much, Andrew. It is a conversation for another day, because I'm not going to pat myself on the back. I'm going to slap myself on the back, because it is something. It's one of my pet hates, using bad language. And when you hear other parents doing it, hurry up, you little bollocks. When you hear these parents in the shops dragging their kid, come here, you little bollocks, and you go, oh my God, that's absolutely disgusting. But then you find yourself doing it as well. Did you use that word to your kids when they were younger, Lauren? Sorry, you there? Oh, sorry, she's gone. Now, the WhatsApp is after coming in from my mother. I haven't even had a chance to listen to this off air. So I asked her, how does she feel about me using bad language? So this is my mother. Let's see what she has to say. So I sent her a WhatsApp voice note saying, how do you feel? By the way, listen for the phone voice. I bet you she'll put on the phone voice here, which she doesn't sound like in real life, by the way. So this is her doing her phone voice.
Well, I don't particularly like it. I'd rather you didn't use bad language in front of me.
Yeah. Look at that. Listen to that voice. Listen.
Well, I don't particularly like it. I'd rather you didn't use bad language in front of me.
Yeah, the gas thing about my mother is that my sister gets away with using bad language. She doesn't get pulled up over anything. My mother pulls her up over absolutely nothing. Even down to drink and stuff like that. Like my sister will turn around and my mother will ask her, we'd be having family dinner on a Sunday. My mother would say to my sister, did you have a good night last night? And she said, oh yeah, I had to watch Netflix and drank a bottle of wine. And my mother would just, yeah, okay, that's grand, fair enough. Jeremy, did you have a good night last night? Yeah, ma, I had a couple of Captain Morgans. You need to watch that drinking now. You need to watch that drinking straight away. How many did you have? What's your waistline? Two completely different set of rules for different kids. I'm sure that's the same with you guys and your mothers and fathers, that even though you're grown up, you get treated completely different. My sister could drink a keg, or she could drink a case of wine, and my mother would say nothing. I drink one alcoholic drink and I get a bollocking. Now, Morris is offended as well. Let's hear what Morris is offended about.
How you doing, Jeremy? Yeah, being an ex-army man, there was a lot of bad language used, when they're training you from being a civilian into a soldier. But one of the things I'm really...
Oh, sorry, I cut you off there, Morris. Let's go back. Hang on.
How you doing, Jeremy? Yeah, being an ex-army man, there was a lot of bad language used, when they're training you from being a civilian into a soldier. But one of the things I'm very surprised at that your mother hasn't pulled you on, taking the Lord's name in vain. You've used it a couple of times since talking to Adrian. The J word, you'd get your ears clipped in my day for don't be taking the Lord's name in vain, whereas the other effing and being out of you. But you've used it quite a lot. Maybe you're from a generation that doesn't see it disrespectful, but I grew up with it. Cheers, Morris.
Yeah, thank God, Morris, those days are gone. A lot of people will not believe this, but in a not so distant past, you would have got in trouble even on the radio. I remember when I started on radio, and it wasn't that long ago, maybe 25 years ago. When I started on radio, if you used Jesus, if you said Jesus or Jesus or Holy God or anything like that, you would be pulled up over it by listeners. And that was the expression, taking the Lord's name in vain. But thankfully, Morris, I think that generation is now kaput, that generation that actually exists that thinks you can't take the Lord's name in vain. I don't think... if I could say Jesus 10 times in a row, and I don't think one person will complain about it now. But if you go back 30 years... hard to believe how Ireland has changed. If you go back 30 years and you said Jesus on air, there would be complaints about that because it was called taking the Lord's name in vain. It's not hard to believe that was actually a thing, that you could take the Lord's name in vain.